Hello. There we go. I think we're finally live. All right. I wanted to pop in to talk a little bit about effective meditation. The thing is, we're so often told about meditation and told, um, you know, to do meditation because it's good for yourself, for your personal, for your physical. It's good for your mental wellness. And the thing is, that's all well and good to say that, but what is effective meditation? Has anyone ever stopped to say, okay, well, it's good to meditate, but this is actually how you do it. This is how it is actually effective? Because the truth of the matter is there are ineffective ways to meditate and there are effective ways to meditate. So I just wanted to share a little bit of insights about meditation. Now, the types of meditation that I mainly talk about is mind clearing meditations. There are hundreds and hundreds of different types of meditations, and there are so many different intentions of the types of meditations you do. It just depends on what type of meditation you're trying to do and what type of outcome you want to have from those meditations. In Essential Personal Development, the main thing that I focus on is achieving spiritual alignment and teaching students and my clients how to know how and recognize when they step into their spiritual alignment. So, like I said, my main meditation type that I talk about and that I share is about mind clearing. It's basically just to get the clutter coming out of your mind, so things aren't blocking you up. So I'm actually going to ask you this question. Do you know how to meditate effectively? So I think you should have a question popping up somewhere in the screen here. If you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, please answer the question. I'll come back later and have a look to see what your answers were. But I'm really curious to know if you actually know how to meditate effectively. And if I know that, then I can know what kind of videos to put on and what kind of ways that I can help you to achieve that spiritual alignment through meditation. Okay, so hopefully you're writing that on there. Now, basically, what I want to teach you with meditation is it's not, with the mind clearing meditation, it's not about getting rid of everything from your mind. It's not about having no thoughts, because that is almost impossible for us as humans to have no thoughts come to us. And if you are very limited in the amount of thoughts that are popping through, usually you are very, very practiced in meditation, which takes years and years and years to learn how to do. And so basically what mind clearing meditation is all about is just, kind of putting an intention that you want your mind to be a bit quieter, and to just allow everything that's going on. So if there is noises going on in the background, just that's okay. Allow those things to happen. They're not interrupting your meditation. What that is doing is making your meditation perfect, because meditation is about training your mind, training yourself to be still and training yourself to control the thoughts that are going on with you without having external things from you interrupting your thought processes or interrupting your emotional states. And so just like if you are doing a workout, you will do lots of different things to make sure your muscles are working properly or that you're fit or you're able to do these different things. Meditation is no different. Meditation is training your mind, and it's training you to have control over your mind. And when you have control over your mind, you have control over controlling and creating the world that you want for yourself. So something I do want to know is, how first of all, let me put this poll up. I have a poll here for you. Here you go. Publish this poll. How often do you meditate? So I'm going to pop a poll up right now, because I'm very interested to know how often you do meditate. The options are never, less than once a week, 1 to 4 times a week, or almost every day. And the reason I am bringing the regularity of meditation up is because meditation isn't a technique, it's a practice. And what that means is that it needs to be done every day. You need to practice meditation to master it. So if you've never done meditation before, especially mind clearing meditation, if you've never done it before, you can sit down and you can just have thought after thought after thought pop into your head, and it going on loop, and it's almost drives you nuts when you become aware of all the thoughts that are going on inside your head. And this is so much cloudiness, this is so much fogginess, this is so much white noise going on in your own mind. So you've got all this stuff going on around you. And particularly in the time that we are now, there is lots of uncertainty. There is lots of, there is a lot of negative feelings and unsureness in the world. So you've got all this stuff on the outside going on, but then you've also got the stuff going on inside your head as well. So with meditation, what we can try and do is create almost like a little sanctuary where you can go, okay, well, everything out here is going on. That is something that I have no control over, and that is okay. I'm fine with that. I'm going to center myself. I can have control over my mind, and if I can have control over my mind, it doesn't really matter what's going on the outside of you. So if you can fill out that poll as well, that would be really great. And then let's head back over to another question. I do have another question for you. Something that I have seen time and time again is that when people meditate, it seems like they don't know if they're doing it right, and they always seem like they're doing it wrong, or they get frustrated with it because they have thoughts going through their minds. So something I want to ask you is, first of all, what stops you from meditating? So it could be things like maybe you don't have enough time to meditate. Maybe it's when you do meditate, you're feeling frustrated and you don't know if you're doing it right. So then you kind of feel like it's a bit pointless. Maybe, all the other things in life, obligations are happening, and it just gets put on the wayside, and you don't do it. But I do want to know some of the things that stop you from meditating, only because if I were to give you suggest one thing that will basically improve every aspect of your life, every single aspect of your life, it would be meditation. And it is the number one thing I suggest for all my clients and all my students to do, is to practice meditation. So if I knew what were the types of things that stopped you from meditating, I can then create different ways to help navigate around them, and maybe even show you how important it is to meditate and commit yourself to meditating. All right. So this is the good one. So I'm going to pop on now another poll. Does meditation frustrate or feel pointless to you? Like I said, this was something that definitely came up for so many people that I talk to, is it's frustrating because of all those thoughts that come into your mind. And then what happens is, so like I was saying before, I am trying to teach my students and my clients how to get into spiritual alignment with themselves. And the more you get frustrated when you're in meditation, what you're actually doing is, this is your center. When you get becoming frustrated, you're getting further and further and further away from you being centered. And that is the opposite of the point of meditating. So what I often encourage my students to do is acknowledge that the thought has come. It is perfect that the thought is there, and it's okay that the thought has come, but don't put any attachment to those thoughts. So you might be sitting there and you might be meditating, and a thought might pop in that goes, I've got to feed the dog. It's totally fine. It doesn't mean you need to step up and go and feed your dog now. It's just a thought that's coming through. Don't jump in there and then examine, why did I think of I need to feed the dog? Just go, oh, I thought that I need to feed the dog. Okay, I've acknowledged your thought now, and now you can pass on. And then something else might come up. Don't forget to pay this bill. All you have to do is acknowledge that you've had that thought and allow it to just move on. Don't focus on it, and then don't punish yourself for having those thoughts. It's totally normal and natural to have them flowing through your brain. It's more about not attaching negative emotions to those things and giving yourself a break and really just going, oh my goodness, yes, I acknowledge that. But in this moment, I give myself permission to relax and allow myself to meditate. All right, let's see what other questions I have for you. Here, this is a good one. How do you feel when you are meditating? For those of you who do meditate, I am interested to know how you do feel when you're actually meditating. Because for me, I know it can be different for many people, but I like to tell people how I feel when I am meditating, so they can get some kind of idea of when you are in that, really effective meditation mode, and also when you are stepping into your spiritual alignment. So for me, I know when I am effectively meditating and I'm in the meditative state, which is a different brainwave. I know when I'm meditating when my eyes start to flutter very quickly. So I can get into that state within, maybe a minute or two of meditating, because I have meditated for many, many years. And sometimes you might not get to that state. You might do, 15, 20 minutes of meditation, and you might not get to that state until the last, minute of that meditation, but that is fine. The point is not the length of time you're in that meditative state. The point is that you've reached it. And if you can just sit there and enjoy and know that you've reached that point, that is good enough, because that is when you have stepped into your alignment. Also, what I feel is when I've stepped into my spiritual alignment is I might feel like a bit of a falling sensation, or a slipping, a turning sensation. Something else that I might feel is sometimes I can't distinguish where my body ends and where the rest of the world starts. So I might not be able to distinguish where the tips of my fingers are or the ends of my toes. I feel like I'm connected to everything in the world, with all the people in the universe. And so I'm just forming one part of the whole. So that's another way I know that I'm in my spiritual alignment, because I feel oneness with everything. And that may not be how you feel it. If you do feel it in a different way, if you know what your spiritual alignment feels like, please pop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your explanation of what your spiritual alignment feels like, because I imagine they're very different for many different people. What else do I want to share with you? So I think that is about it. I just really wanted, so just to recap, the type of meditation I mainly talk about and I encourage is a mind clearing meditation, just to free your mind of all the chatter that's going on. And it allows you to have more creativity. It allows you to have more clarity, and it allows you to step into what they call the flow state, which is when you are in alignment. And that's when you open yourself up to receiving the messages from the universe. You are open to receiving the vibrations, and a lot of the time, that's where the most amazing inventions come from. That's where the most amazing ideas come from. It's not coming from your head. It's not logically creating these things. It's about receiving these really great ideas, and they might seem pointless. For instance, I might just get an idea to do a live stream, which is often when I do my live streams, it comes an idea, it's a great idea to do this, and that's what I'll do. But the thing is, if you follow those, what they are called inspired thoughts, if you follow those inspired thoughts, they lead on to one thing, then onto another thing, then onto another thing. And before you know it, something really great is created in your life. Things seem to just work together really well, and things align for you because you're following that inspired thought with inspired action. So I've been on for a little while now. I don't want to keep you much longer than that. I hope that you have found this, interesting or educational, or it has inspired you in some way to begin your meditation practices, or start them again, or do them regularly. I do suggest daily meditations, and not for extended periods of time. If you're just starting, I would suggest maybe just start with 5 minutes a day, and then you can just work up. But I wouldn't suggest any more than 15 minutes a day. I don't believe it's required any more than 15 minutes a day, but just give yourself a break and just start off small and then work bigger and bigger. And before you know it, you might be sitting there and you close your eyes, and then the next second you open your eyes. It might be a half-hour meditation, but just go with whatever your intuition is telling you to do, and you'll know because it will feel good. So that is it from me. Please answer those questions, especially if you're watching the replay. I will come back and I'll have a look and I'll have a chat with you about all those different things. And if you do want to, go a bit more in depth about these things, I do have a group. I will pop the link to my group in the description. Not the description, I'll maybe put it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments for you to find, and you can come and join me in my group. And I talk about all these things a little bit deeper there. Also, I coach as well. I coach students, and I have online courses which incorporate meditation in basically every single thing that I do, because what I'm about is teaching you how to step into your spiritual alignment, the place where you are, at your ultimate potential, the place where everything that you need and want can come to you and be delivered to you. So if you want to know any more about those things, feel free to message me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye for now.